Good day, everyone. For today, I'm going to report the chapter 6, which is the measurement. By the way, I am Regina Grace G. Dihaiko, and without further ado, let's get started. This section talks about the widely used measurement, the metric system. Learning competencies are to convert from one metric unit to another and to convert from one system of measurement to another. Before we tackle about the metric system, let's talk first on how is it discovered and developed. So the history of metric system. During year 1791, it was the French who discovered it. It was first proposed by a group of scientists led by Pierre-Simon Laplace. And during 1785, it was officially adopted by the French government. But before they adopt it, it do some process to um, validate its credibility and if it is really useful. And during 1837, it became mandatory in France and also other countries started to use it. And during 1960, the General Conference on Weights and Measures, the diplomatic organization made up of the signatory nations to the Convention of the Metri, adopted an extensive revision and simplification of the system. This is where it now consists of 7 base units. The name System International of Units or International System of Units with the abbreviation SI was adopted for this modern metric system. So, what is a metric system? Metric system, it is a system of measurement used around the world and especially in the specific science community. It is succeeded the decimalized system based on the metri introduced in France. It is a decimal based and are easily converted by moving a decimal point or by using a technique. So, in many business activities, it is important to understand measurements. For example, if I am going to open or planning to open a repair or auto repair shop, of course, I need to be familiarized on the basic units, which are the meter, the length, and the volume. So, the metric system is preferred because of several reasons. One is the majority of the countries employ this system, and the prefixes, which will be discussed by my teammates later, carry the same meaning for all base units, and it is based upon the powers of 10, which is very convenient. So, since our objective is to teach you or to be able to convert from one unit of measure to another, so I will going to give some ways on how to convert from one unit of measure to another. So why metric system is important? Yes, it is. It is important because it enables us to use these measurement units to calculate the size, the mass, or volume of different objects. And it is necessary to convert one metric measurement to another unit because it frequently happens in the medical, scientific, and technical fields. And it is firmly established as key part of the language science since it's really helpful and useful in the science community. So the 7 base units in the metric system are meter, liter, gram, second, mole, ampere, Kelvin, and candela, with each property: the length, the volume, the mass, time, amount of substance, electric current, temperature, and luminous intensity. So these units are based on the modern metric system, or the SI, and based on my research before, it only consists the basic units, which is the meter, liter, and gram. But now, since we use the metric based system international, or SI, it becomes 7. So here we have two ways or techniques on how to easily convert um, one unit to another. So first is the factor label method. So I know most of you know this since we already have our Math 100, and this factor label method is a procedure for converting a quantity from one unit to another. And the other term for this is conversion factor, which is valid relations between unit of the same or equities expressed as fraction. Since the two terms are in essence the same quantity and different units, that fraction is equal to 1, and multiplying the original quantity by 1 will not change it. So the steps is just very easy. So write what you know. So write down the quantity or the given quantity and the units you want to be converted. The symbol for the unit that we want to obtain will be placed in the place of the fraction where we want it to be the denominator or numerator. The symbol of the unit that we want to have or eliminate will be placed in the remaining space of the fraction. So, for example, we know 100 cm is equivalent to 1 m. So we just solve it by in fraction, in the form of fraction. So 100 cm over 1 m, so is equal to 1. So this mo na siya nga di siya ma-change. So that's why ang factor label method is gamiton pa gid. If gamiton mo siya, the same quantity gyapon siya, like 100 cm is equivalent to 1 m. So divide mo siya 1 gyapon siya. So this, for example, we convert 18 meters to cm. So use conversion factors to systematically move from one unit to the next, canceling out units on the diagonal in each step. So 18 meters. So need to times or multiply to 100 cm over 1 m, because we know 100 cm is equivalent to 1 m, which is the meter is the base unit, and need to eliminate the same unit, which is the meter. So next is we need to multiply 18 meters times 100 centimeters is equivalent to 1,800 centimeters. So this means that the 18 meters is equivalent to 1,800 meters. So here we follow the step. You write what you know, that 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, then multiply the conversion ratio. And next is answer in significant figures or use the correct unit. So another way is, I don't know what is it, but more siya og gikan gyapon sa factor label method but in a shortcut way. Ang imong gamiton na ani is memorization. You just need to remember the movement. So remember the bigger unit and the smaller unit. So we know the bigger unit are the kilo and the movement to the right, if you move to the right, so bigger unit to smaller unit, and smaller unit are the milli, from milli to movement to centi, deci, deca, hecto, and kilo. So if the movement is to the right, or the bigger unit to smaller unit, you need to multiply, while if the movement is to the left, or the smaller unit to bigger unit, you need to divide. So for me, it is the easy way. You just remember the movement, and then you can decide if you will multiply or divide. So now let's talk about um the 7 base unit, and apply this technique, or I use this way because I think it is more easier for me, but it's up to you which technique or way you are comfortable. So for example, the first basic unit is the meter. So the property of meter is the length, which consists of millimeter, decimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer, are used to measure how long or wide or tall an object is. Examples include measuring the thickness or length of debit card, length of cloth, or distance between two cities. So here is the conversion table. So the meter is the basic unit, so 1, and the bigger unit are the kilometer, hectometer, decameter, while the smaller unit are the millimeter, centimeter, decimeter. So in converting, so we have example here. We convert 10 kilometer to meter. So as 1 kilometer, we know that is equivalent to 1,000 meter. So I use the shortcut or the way nga di na siya kailangan mag-fraction pa. We know 1 is sa numerator, denominator, if whole number, we know nga ang iyang denominator jud is 1. So as 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meter. Therefore, the movement is kilometer to meter. So the movement is to the right. So what we do if the movement is to the right? We need to multiply. So 10 kilometer times 1,000, or the meter, or the conversion of 1 km is 1,000 meter. So 10,000 times 10 times 1,000. So it is equal to 10,000 meter. Therefore, 10 kilometer is equivalent to 10,000 meter. So next, liter. So its property is the volume, which consists of milliliter, liter, and such, are used to measure how much quantity of liquid an object can hold. Examples include measuring the amount of juice in a juice can, or amount of water in a water tank. So here again, the conversion table, the same process, the liter, or just remember the liter is the basic unit, just remember the movement. So for example, we convert 450 ml to liters. So ml to liter, so the movement is to the left because smaller unit to bigger unit. So 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 ml. So therefore, double na. Therefore, 450 ml, when we convert 450 ml, we just need to divide it to 1,000 since the movement is to the left. So 450 divided by 1000 is equivalent to 0.45 liters. So 450 ml is equivalent to 0.45 liter. So proceed to the gram, or its property is mass. Gram and kilogram are used to measure how heavy an object using instruments. Examples including measuring weight of fruits or our own body weight. So here again the conversion table. The gram is the basic unit, so it's equal to 1. So here the example, convert 100 kilogram to milligrams. Kilogram to milligram, so the movement is to the right. So we know 1 gram is equivalent to 1000 milligram, and 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1000 gram. So we need first to convert the kilogram to gram to get the milligram. So 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1000 gram. Therefore, 100 kilogram times 1000 gram is equivalent to 100,000. Now converting gram to milligram. So 1 gram is equivalent to 1000 milligram. Therefore, 100,000 gram times 1000, which is the conversion table, the ratio. So it's equal to 100,000, 100 million milligrams. So it's an error, the mg here. So 100 kilogram is equivalent to 100 million milligrams. So don't mind the unit mg after the 100,000, guys. It's a typo. So next is second. Second is the base unit for time. So in the Merriam, second is defined, or it is equal as the duration of 9,192,631,770 oscillations of radiation corresponding to the transition between the two hyperfine levels of cesium -133. So here is the conversion. We all know this, the second, the minute, the hour, the day, the week, and the month. So next is the mole. So SI, unit of amount of substance. So a mole, 1 mole contains exactly 6.02 to 14076 times 10 to the power of 23. Or the formula is mole is equivalent to number of particles divided by 6.02 times 10 over 23. So next, the ampere. So it is named after André Marie Ampere from France discovered it. So 1 ampere is defined as the current that flows with electric charge of 1 coulomb per second. So here is the table or the conversion. 1 ampere is equivalent to 1000 milliamperes, or 1 coulomb per seconds, and so on and so forth. So example, we convert 9 amperes to milliamperes. So as 1 ampere is equivalent to 1000 amperes, therefore we just multiply 9 ampere times the 1000 is equivalent to 9000 milliampere. So next is the basic unit of temperature, the Kelvin. So it is named after the Belfast-born Glasgow University engineer and physicist William Thomson, first Baron Kelvin. So here, I just give some example how to convert Celsius and Kelvin, and how to convert Kelvin and Celsius or vice versa. So I know you are familiar with this or you already knew this. So for example, first let's talk about the equivalent value of 0 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. So the 0 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 273.15 degrees Kelvin. So in solving Kelvin, just need to add the given degree Celsius and its equivalent, which is the 273.15. In converting Kelvin and Celsius, you need to deduct the amount of Kelvin to the negative 273.15. 0 degrees Kelvin is equivalent to negative 273.15 degrees Celsius. So example, when we convert 20 degrees Celsius to Kelvin, so the Celsius given is 20 degrees. And we know the equivalent of 0 degrees Celsius is 273.15. So we just need to add the two. So 20 degrees Celsius plus 273.15, which is a Kelvin, equivalent to 0 degrees. So the answer is 293.15 degrees Kelvin. So the other hand, example of converting Kelvin to Celsius, 300 degrees. The given Kelvin is 300 degrees. So you just need to deduct the 300 Kelvin degrees to 273.15. So the equivalent is 26.85 degrees Celsius. Next, the last one is the candela. Candela, the unit of luminous intensity or light, is a measure of wavelength power emitted by a light source, particular direction per unit solid angle. So the 1 candela is equivalent to 1 lm or steradian. So that's all for my report. Hope you learned something from it and have a good day. Thank you.